Alright, so first one from Scott. Typically I try to, Scott, put my PBNs and my money site on different hosting, but I do have cases where I have PBNs and a money site on the same host. Although I would, to be safe, I would personally like to avoid that. Yeah, again, hosting it with your money site, I would try to avoid. I think I do it for like one or two sites by accident, but I definitely try to avoid it. And you can host, some of your PBNs together. Just make sure they have different IPs, different C-class IPs at that. And how many single PBNs on like the same hosting? It depends how many PBNs you have. Like if you just have 10 PBNs, it's probably fine to put them all on the same hosting. When you get to 20, 30, you might want to start splitting it up. Me personally, I have hosting where I have like 100 domains on the same host, just because I'm running out of hosting companies to go with. But I think the next question is, what are your current PBN host recommendations? And some of the people I use are, let's see, I use Tide Service, BizBuilder, Hosting. I think it's .net or it's .com, I guess. Yeah, BizBuilderHosting.com. One of my favorites is ASEOHosting.com. I really like these guys. Um, Indian Nets I just started using. They seem to be pretty good so far. SEOhost.org I use. I don't really love them, but that is another host. Or, oh, sorry, maybe it's hostseo.org. Yeah, hostseo.org. There's SEOhosting.com, which I don't really use that much. There is who else? Oh, one good person, one good company that Cotton Grammar just recommended is turnkeyinternet.net. They're really good with service, but they do give you some of the same C-class IPs in there, so just be careful of that. But they're a good service overall. SEOwebhosting.net, not that great, but again, I run out of hosts, so I use pretty much everyone. So I use these guys. They're really cheap. They're decent as far as service. I have used Cloak Hosting, cloakhosting.com. I use them for like 20 sites. I don't love them. I don't really trust what they do yet. They haven't been around long enough because they do like a different type of thing. Who else? Those are the main ones I use. The biggest ones I use are Tides Hosting, ASEO Hosting, and I'm really liking Indian Nets right now, and the Turnkey Internet. You just gotta be careful with their IPs, getting the same C-class IPs. So what I do is I keep note for the Turnkey Internet one. This is one of the newest ones I'm using. I just keep note of all the IPs, and if it's the same C-class IP, I make a note of that, and I just won't use it for the same niche, or like the same site, same set of sites. That way, like the same site is not getting the same IP. Alright? So those are the hosting companies that I use for SEO hosting. Not many questions today. So if you guys have questions, make sure you ring them up. So I'm going to get this next set in here. And how you doing, Ron? Alright, from Bill. Right here. I don't necessarily try to use all 60 characters in my title, Bill. Just whatever makes sense. One thing I've been liking doing with my titles is adding in, like, the brand. So if it's something like, like the site name. So if I'm going after, like, best handheld shavers, something like that. And I don't really have like anything else to put in the title. I'll go with like sitename.com. Like have the title, have the site in the title. It seems Google's liking that more and more. Same with anchor text. They're liking to see more branded anchor text now. It's really getting to be more important. But you don't necessarily have to use all 60 characters. I don't really worry about that. But I will, like Bill, if I only use 20 characters, I'll just make sure, is there anything else I can do with this to fill it out more? If there's not, no big deal. If there is, use that space. All right, from Ron. I mean, it doesn't really happen often, but when it does, I keep going as planned, Ron. I keep doing what I'm doing. And if it falls, honestly, I just usually just do a new site. Because I find that recovering just takes a whole lot longer than just doing a new site and getting going again. So we have all the PBNs, it's all our resources we're using most of the time. Most of our resources are at least for me, almost all of them are my PBN links. So it's not a big deal to just take down old posts, put up a new one for a new site. So I mean that's a lot easier than trying to fix a penalty for me in most cases. If it was like a serious site where I really needed to come back, I would talk to Jimmy Kelly. But I've never had to do that, and it doesn't happen all. You don't get attacked often. From Elizabeth, hosting for money sites. To be honest, I used Host9 for a lot of my money sites. It's host9.com. And they work pretty well. What's the other host? There's another host we've been playing with. It's been really fast. I'll have to get the name of them. Maybe we'll discuss it next webinar. But honestly, a lot of my sites are on Host9, and they're pretty good. Like KLKS, this site's been on Host9 from the beginning, and it loads quick. Not really any downtime. It's cheap. You can put a whole bunch of different domains on there. You can use some different IPs. So, I mean, Host9 is a really cheap and easy option that's been good for me. So, from Scott. Well, as we talked about, Scott, over the last couple months, rankings have been slowed. So it depends when you did those links. If you did them less than a month ago, just wait it out because they'll end up kicking in. If it's been more than a month, you're probably going to need to do some changes to your anchor text and your optimization. And I would have to see it to know what to do or what could possibly work best. But just know that a lot of times links are taking about a month to fully kick in. But as you saw if you saw the beginner series, it's not all the time. And I think with those that I did in the beginner series, that new series we're doing, the new set of videos, the new site, I think they move so quick because they're easier keywords, and then they'll move even more, like a month in or so, like 3 weeks, whatever the time frame is. But we'll have to see what happens there. Alright, cool. We got some more questions coming in now. Alright. No, Gold.RA site not ranking anymore. It got hit with negative SEO. That is a site that got hit with negative SEO. And then also, we had someone doing content on it. And what they did was, for each post they did, they had like a ton of tags. I mean, like hundreds of them. And I didn't know about it. So, I don't know if that site disappeared because of the negative SEO or because of all the tags he was doing. We fixed the tags. It hasn't come back yet, so I'm guessing the negative SEO caught up to it. But again, that was just a public site. It was for example. It's a shame someone attacked it because it was a good case study and it was good for like SEO testing and all that. But we got other sites that we don't make public that, of course, tons of sites that I get my testing data from. So proxies are basically just to change your IP, Scott. So, if you go to Google and you type in something and you get that CAPTCHA, like where you got to type in like the characters to get your search, that's because you're sending too many requests from the same IP. Okay, so there's all types of things that you would need proxy, like GSA. Like if you keep sending requests to places from the same IP, you could end up getting banned. So proxies just help you switch out that IP so it looks like different users are doing certain things. Yeah, you can link PBNs to a squeeze page, absolutely. From Joe. I mean, if they're keywords that are gonna help you, Joe, I would just go after them if you're already somewhat ranking for them. And depending how close they are to the keywords you really want, I mean, that's kind of the direction Google's going. Is they're kind of like they're looking at anchor text more as like a big picture. So if you got like a phrase here, if you have like three separate phrases all about one's about has like a location in it, one has like a service in it, and then one has like company name in it. They kind of like put that all together now. So depending what your anchor text is, what you're ranking for and what you're trying to go after, really, I mean, what you have could already help you for what you're trying to do. So it really depends, but I would most likely keep them. Like, again, it's hard to say without seeing it. It's hard to kind of create an example without knowing exactly what you have. But for Daniel, yeah, I mean, you can use vSilo. I don't have tons of experience with it. I haven't used it in a while because I haven't built like a really big site in a while. But I mean, not really any tips or changes. You can do it manually or vSilo as long as it's set up correctly. From Ron. Okay, Ron. So what you can do if you're really worried, Jimmy Kelly calls this, using a battery. You can have a site, and this is a little more technical. So if it goes over your head, don't worry about it for now. Anyone else listening? But you can set up a site, and that's like that's your battery, and then you 301 that to another site. All right, and what that does is it protects your battery. Your battery's protected because no one really knows that's what's powering the whole operation. Like you can use your battery to power another site just by using 301s, like 301 each location to a new location on a new site. And if someone hits that new site, all you do is change the 301 address to a new site. Okay, because the site they're hitting it's just like for content, and you have all 301s going to it. If it gets hit with negative SEO, you can change the location of your battery or where your battery's pointing to. Okay, so your battery would just power a new site. All that power is already there already. You're just going to redirect it if someone hits your money site. Hopefully that made sense. Again, that's from Jimmy Kelly, not me. Just want to make sure I make that clear. He came up with that. Yeah, I use all WordPress for my PBNs. It still works well, so no reason to change yet. Alright, I'll be back in 1 minute, guys. I gotta run and make a change real quick. I'll be right back. Take a new screenshot. Sorry about that. Send me a new screenshot here for Chantel's question. Whoops, I missed Chantel's question. Sorry, Chantel. Alright. Chantel, I would ask their support about that, because I know that they wanted to add that in, but it wasn't in the previous versions, because I asked about that. You know, how to use it for pager posts that already exist, and they said they're working on it. This was about a month ago. They said it was going to be about a month or two until it was ready. So I would ask them to see if it's ready yet or it's been added. I don't think it has, but they would know best. They're liking branded anchor text more. You know, so I'm adding in some more branded anchor text. I'm still playing with it. Mainly the same thing's working. Just I'm adding in more branded anchor. And I'm testing with a few other things that I'll likely do a video on soon. And then of course just the delay. It's just been taking longer for a lot of links to kick in. Or they might kick in right away still, but very little, and then kind of really kick in a ton down the road. So, I mean, those are the main things. But I mean, the same things are still working. Just minor adjustments we're still testing. What's up, Marlethia? That's how you say it. Chantel. I don't cloak my affiliate link, Chantel. I just do a PHP redirect. I don't even know if Martin does that on KLKS. Let's go take a look. So Martin does all these links. Yeah, he's doing PHP redirect here. So it's basically just like a PHP notepad file. Let me go get it, and let me pause this really quick. I'll get the file for you so you know what to do. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it on Google really quick. This is it, but I would want to give you the exact file. But it's a code like this, okay? I think it's this code, actually. I'm pretty sure. But I wouldn't try it until I confirm it, until someone else does. It's something like this. And then you just change this to your affiliate link. Alright, so this would be affiliate link here, the URL. And then you would save it as filename.php. You actually save it .php. And then right here, then you just upload it to wherever you want it to be. So you see right here in the bottom left, it says kelcast.com/v2.php. That's my affiliate link for V2. It's just it's a PHP file. That's how I usually do them. Maybe someone else has the. I've given out that file before, so maybe someone else has it. We'll have to see when the questions catch up. From James. I am testing with some Web 2.0 stuff and and a lot of blog commenting, and that's all ongoing. But I mostly do PBNs, and it's working great. From Emma. It can be tough if you are changing, trying to do like existing pages, but you can do like a silo on a site that's existing if it's like totally different. But if content already exists that you want to like put in the silo, then it can get really confusing, Emma. And in that case, I've never done that. From Aurelio. I mean, you can use the disavow tool. I never worry about that. You can contact them, ask them to no follow the link. I've had people ask me to no follow links before, like when I'm linking out for my blog network to authority sites. So either disavow or contact them and ask them to no follow the link. I mean, that's all you can really do. From Chantel. It should work with a Mac. It should, Chantel. What's up, Pete? Let me get a new screenshot for Pete's questions. We got plenty of questions rolling in now, so that's good. I was worried at first. The PBN's a bolting over the shoulder. Yeah, use register compass. No, I just use register compass, Pete. And I go after usually Snap, GoDaddy, and Namejet. Probably Namejet more than anything, and then Snap, then GoDaddy. But all of those domains that I bought were from either Namejet or Snap. From Aurelio. No, I've never used Bye Bye now. I don't know what that is, Pete. From Aurelio. Again, let the links catch up, Aurelio. With this new algorithm, kind of delay in place, it may take a little bit. I got some Web 2.0s I linked to like 3 weeks ago that aren't even in the top 100 yet, which is out of the norm. It's just it's the new algorithm, just taking longer. Sky, it depends on competition. If I got something that's like I know is going to be pretty easy, I'll go after like keyword right away, just keyword. I'll link exact keyword. I'll see where it ranks, and then I'll take it from there. But I mean, if it's really competitive, I just kind of play around with it. I'll go back and forth between branded, long tail, short, exact keyword, and just kind of keep rotating. So it really depends on how competitive the keyword is. Because again, if it's an easy keyword, I would just go after keyword right away. Keyword, exact keyword anchor text. If you think you only need, 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 links, you can go with that, just keyword, exact keyword, and small variations, and rank very well. But the more competitive the keyword is, the more that you're going to want to mix in branded generic long tail. From Chantel. I'm not positive, but you should be okay with a 999, I think, Chantel, with just 4 PBNs. I'm pretty sure. Definitely, I'm pretty sure if you're just going to make one post on each at least, you should definitely be okay with that, but I'm not positive. Again, I would ask their support. From Emma. The best way, Emma, is to probably do a 301 redirect. Let's log into the example site, and I'll show you. So just go to your plugins, go to Add New, Simple 301, and there's a plugin called Simple 301 Redirects. Install that and activate it. And then go to Settings, go to 301 Redirects, and then put the old page right here. Okay, so if you wanted to change like about, or let's say like best electric shavers, and you wanted to just change that to shavers, and you would just do this. Now this URL would now automatically redirect to this URL, and all the links pointing to this URL would link to this URL. Okay, and you don't have to put the site name right here. Okay, you just have to do slash location since it's already on the site, and then with the second one you do the URL, the actual domain name in there. Okay, so that's how you do a 301, then save changes, and then when they go to franklintnguide.com/bestelectricshavers, it will redirect to franklintnguide.com/shavers. I'll also send all that link juice from this URL to this URL. From James, I believe that what's his name? I'm going mind blank here. Wayne Voss offers that service. So you can contact Wayne and then HB Group. You're welcome, George, for whatever you're thanking me for. You're welcome. From Michael. Nah, actually, Michael, I either moved up a little bit or stayed the same, so I didn't really notice any change at all. And I saw something about like they're getting rid of more maps, but I noticed a map come up for one of my niches, and the client that we work for or we do SEO for moved up to the top of the map with just PBN links. So pretty interesting there. From George. If it's just one service, George, then you don't really need that silo services. But if he's doing multiple services, like I don't know the sewer work niche that well. Um, if there is multiple services, then you can do that. Okay, where you can do like the service name here and then city. But you don't necessarily need this depending what you're doing. Services. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could leave that there if you wanted. If you're approaching that just as like one service, and you kind of wanted to silo it, you could do that. And then you could have like a list of all your services on this page. So you could set it up that way. Or you could just go name.com/cities, city name. But if you give me like a more concrete example, I can help you with that. It's hard to do it without like a specific example, without keywords in the mix. From Ron. I mean, it depends what I'm looking at, Ron, but I'm usually looking at the whole domain. They're kind of getting a feel for everything on the whole domain. And it depends what's ranking. I mean, if it's an inner URL that's ranking, I'll usually just look at the inner URL. I might peek at the main domain to see what they're doing to the home page, but usually it's whatever URL is ranking. That's what I look at. From Emma. I mean, you can repeat combinations, Emma. Just add in different outbound authority links and stuff, and just don't keep repeating it time and time again. Like you can do if you have A, B, and C, do A and B together, and then do B and C together, then do A and C together, uh, then do A, B, and C together, then just do A by itself. You can kind of do it like that, and just add in a couple of outbound authority links, and use different ones each time, so you have that mixes up that as well. And yeah, it's okay to repeat them again, just not over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? From Scott. I mean, I set up private name servers for my PBN, Scott. Or I'll set the A record, as I show in the videos. But other than that, I'm not doing anything different. And Aurelio says that PHP code is correct. Okay, so if we go back to this code right here. So this, it's just like that. Yeah, that is it, because I remember. You can always test it too, but this video replay will be up soon if you're on this webinar. If you didn't have time to write this down, this would just be HTTP, affiliate link, whatever that is. Okay? Then you save, again, you file, save as, and you save it as the file name, then you actually add .php. Okay? Then you upload that file to wherever you want your location to be. So in this case, I'll upload it right to calcast.com, the home page, or the main directory. And that's why it's linking to calcast.com/v2.php. But that's how I do my affiliate links. So thank you, Aurelio, for confirming that. From Emma. Yeah, absolutely, Emma. I do it all the time where I'll link to like one of my, like if I'm trying to rank a Web 2.0 and a money site, I'll link to both in the same PBN post. It's the same topic. I mean, why not go after two targets in one post? You know? Kathy. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do. I would probably go somewhere in the middle. A mix of both. Like for me, I have a lot of strong ones and I have a lot of, I wouldn't say weak ones, but like on the weaker end for me. And I'll usually use the weaker end ones for generic, longer anchor, branded anchor, and then I'll use the really strong ones for exact keyword a lot of the time. So I mean, that's why I keep track of my PBNs and how strong they are and all that, so I can do that. All right, from Marlathia. I would not host it with GoDaddy. I would host it with one of the SEO hosting companies that we talk about in the supremacy section. You can get like a 5 IP account, Marlethia, even though you only have one right now. You'll end up getting 4 more, I would say. And you can use those IPs. Don't worry about the domain by proxy thing, that's just for like privacy. So just ignore that. From Kathy. More links, Kathy, in the right anchor text. I don't know what type of links you've sent and the anchor text you're using and any other information, so it's impossible to say, but what it's going to take is more links with the right anchor text. From Emma. Yeah, and we answered that. You can definitely link to Web 2.0s with your money sites and all that. From Kathy. Yeah, Kathy, it seems like you're using very long tail. That's okay to use, Kathy. I use them as a strategy, actually, for... I'll probably make a video on this soon, but it's just something I'm noticing that they're doing with anchor text, and I'll talk about this in the video because I still want to test it more. But I actually use that as a strategy, but it works. Usually only works well when you mix that with the shorter tail, okay? Because it seems like they mix kind of anchor. They're mixing anchor text together. So if you have like all very long tail, Google's going to have trouble distinguishing exactly what your site is about. But if you mix that long tail with short tail, then they're going to get a better idea what your site's about. They're going to see the short tail, and they're going to say, okay, we know their site's about this, and then this is also mentioned in their long tail, so that makes it even more relevant that it's about that. Okay, so hopefully you get what I'm saying there. So mixing that long anchor with the short anchor can work very well. And again, that's something I'm playing with. But yeah, just having all long anchor, Kathy, you might be selling yourself short there. All right, from Scott. So, the most important thing I look for is they're on different C class IPs. Okay, if they have different like A and B class, that's even better. Uptime. If you don't want stuff that's always down, you want it to be loading fairly quick. You don't want super slow stuff that's always down. Like SEO web hosting, they're pretty slow and they can be down. HostSEO.org, they're kind of slow and their sites can go down. Like ASEO hosting and Turnkey so far, I've had no problems with them. Indian Nets, I've had no problems with. They load quick. They're all on different IPs except for Turnkey, which as long as you pay attention to that, you'll be okay. So I mean, that's the main thing I look for is just, at least fair load times. It doesn't have to be super fast, and not a lot of downtime, and then different C-class IPs. And support is a big plus. ASCO hosting and turnkey have awesome support. Indian Nets I just kind of signed up for, so I don't know about their support. I haven't dealt with them yet. I haven't had any problems yet with them, so I haven't really had to talk to support yet. Alright, where were we? From Aurelio. Yeah, and I actually talk about that in a video, Aurelio. I think it's in the frequently asked questions. But I'll link to up to 3 locations of a domain in one post, from a PBN. But I talk about that in the video a lot. I won't keep repeating 3 locations. Like sometimes I'll do 2, sometimes 1, sometimes 3. I usually don't go over 3. So, but yeah, you can definitely link to multiple locations to a money site from the same PBN post. All right, from Pete. Yeah, I mean, I've never changed like something that big, Pete. Like usually, like if you saw with KLKS, if you guys have kept up with this site, where are we? Let me get this out. You guys can't see it, but it's in my way. That little go-to webinar bar. Let me go to the brands page. So, for example, this used to be called e-cigarette brands. Okay. When the change came in May, the Panda change, I changed this to just brands because I knew that with the anchor text I had, I was over optimized. So that's the reason I use 301s is more like when it's like the same topic. Changing it from like Orlando to Tampa, that's like kind of like a different location. So that's I don't really see why you would do that because then if you have links going to Tampa, I mean it's not going to help you nearly as much for a target page about Orlando. You know what I mean? In this case, I'm staying on topic. Like I just went from a longer version of this URL to a shorter version to help with optimization. So I mean, you could go from Orlando to Tampa Dentist with a 301 change, and yeah, you would want to change that content. But just know that if you have links going to it, I mean, if you have links for Orlando, it's not going to help you much for Tampa. I mean, it'll help you a little bit because it probably has dentist in it and stuff, but you're not getting the most out of those links anymore. And hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. I have not, Anne. I have not looked at that. Chantel, you're welcome, Chantel. Yeah, and we just got that with the replay, Chantel. Or we just went over that, so hopefully you get that in the replay. If not, let me know. From Pete. Yeah, I mean, as we saw with this recent client, just PBN links shot him up in the maps. So, I mean, regular links definitely help. But from I'm not a places expert, but from my understanding, the biggest things for places is reviews and citations. But in this case, we were able to shoot him right up with PBN links. Alright, let's see. From George. Yes. Yes, George, you could do that. Sorry, I was trying to think about it. Sometimes you gotta think about these things. Let's see, sewer inspection. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely set it up that way. Yep. Yeah, you're good there, George. You had the right idea for sure. Yeah, uploading a PHP file, and you would just use FileZilla. You get all the connect information from your hosting company. Usually, when you sign up for hosting, they send you a file with all your information. You would just get the login details right from there. I just think it's safe, Shane, to use PHP. It's just safe and easy. Yeah, FileZilla, and you're welcome, Kathy, Aurelio. All right, so branded anchor text, Aurelio. If you have, let's say you got, well, let's use our example, FranklinTNGuide.com. All right, this is our site name. So branded anchor text for this site would be, it could be this, it could be this, name of the site, okay? It could be domain, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. All right, so it's basically, it's like the name of the site, as you see here, and then also like domain name, as you see all of these four. So that's what branded anchor text is. You're kind of building a brand around your domain. And like, you know, we're going after like realtors for one of our keywords, Franklin, Tennessee realtors. So I'll do stuff like this, like FranklinTNGuide.com realtors. Okay, again, it's helping you brand. You got branded anchor text, and you're mixing in kind of partial keywords. So I'm messing with doing stuff like that. It's working well. But again, I'm still testing. I'll do a video on that in the coming month or so, something like that. Alright, so let me redo a screenshot for Emma. Make sure I'm not missing any of her question. If you're going to change it, Emma, just do a 301. I'm trying to think, is this one? I mean, city is not like a big deal for repeating. I mean, I still don't like it, but it's just one word and it's such like a big word that it's not like a huge deal that you're repeating it. Because again, it's just one word and it's a big keyword. So it's not a huge deal that you're repeating it, but if you want to, you would change that with a 301. Okay, and I showed you how to do that with that plugin. And I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to do with this second part of the URL, so I'm not sure to tell you what to change it to. So I'd need to know more about that to tell you exactly what to do. But yeah, if you're going to change it, use a 301. From Aurelio. I don't use tags usually, Aurelio. If I do, it's just one or two, and they're pretty general tags. So, nah, I wouldn't use that sidebar tag cloud. I don't really mess with tags. From Scott. I mean, I think it's helping, Scott, but I think people think that it's helping more than it really is. I mean, again, I think it's helping. Like, if you have a fast site, it's going to help you. But at the same time, I have sites that are pretty slow that I'm just too lazy to move that are ranking incredibly well in competitive niches. So, I mean, I think it can help, but at the same time, people think it's more important than it is. Kathy, I don't worry about it, Kathy. I put up what I need to put up, and I let it sit if it needs it. You know, if I don't put up anything else on it, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about manual reviews and all of that. I haven't had a problem with it, knock on wood, so I'm not worrying about it. And I have a lot of PBNs, so. Alright, from Aurelio. Oh, I see what you're saying, Aurelio. Not to the same location. You know, you wouldn't want to link, like if you have a PBN, like say say Franklin TN guy was a PBN, like you wouldn't want to make a post and link to kelcast.com/brands, and then make another post and link to kelcast.com/brands again, and then make another post and link to kelcast.com/brands again. You just link to one URL once from a PBN. That's all you need to do, just once. From Kathy. I mean, it depends on your resources, Kathy. You can wait till the GSA kicks in, like give it like a month and see where you are, month and a half. Or you can drop PBNs and just give yourself a better chance of ranking better quicker. It's up to you. It depends on your resources and how important what you're trying to rank is. If it's something that needs to be ranked quick, like a client is like really hassling you, I would throw PBNs at it and try to get ranking as quick as possible. But if it's something that's not like a big hurry, let that GSA drip and see what happens after a month, and then take it from there. From George. Again, you're welcome, George. But you guys are paying me to be here at the same time, so I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. From Ira. Oh, I have no idea, Ira. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not good with a lot of that technical stuff. They should be able to help you with that. There's no reason that they can't tell you what changes you need to make, or they should even make the changes for you. I've never had anyone tell me that. So I have no idea. They should be able to help you with that, but I'm not that technical with that stuff. Just a few, Bill, for tags on YouTube videos. I'll just do like a few tags. Usually I'll do like 3 general. So if it's like on, let's say I'm trying to target e-cigarette brands, I'll do like e-cig, electronic cigarette, maybe e-cigarettes, and then I'll do like specific key, like electronic cigarette brands, e-cig brands. Like 2 specific, 3 general, something like that. From Michael, let me recapture his question. Yes, not only is it safe, Michael, but it's actually becoming more powerful. Again, Google really likes that. They're really liking like the whole brand thing. So yeah, I mean they really like that. But one thing, that's a good point, Michael, is if it's like one thing I'm careful about is if it's like if it's an actual keyword. I think it's a little different with branding. So let's say like it was like ecigbrands.com, which is like a big keyword. Now if it's that, I'm going to be careful how many times I do ecig brands. Okay? Even though that's like the brand name, so to speak, because it's the domain name, because it's a keyword that gets a lot of searches, I think it has different rules. Alright? Opposed to Franklin TN Guide, if you keep doing this doesn't really get, this probably gets no searches. It's not really a keyword, it's more like a brand. Whereas in this case, this gets a lot of searches, it's a money-making keyword. So I'd be more careful how many times I use it for something like this than I would right here. Alright, this is kind of creating a brand. This is, I would say it's flirting with over-optimization. It gets treated a little differently because of it being a keyword. I mean, it's a brand, but it's also a keyword. Hopefully that makes sense. Whereas in this case, no one searches for this. So when they see you doing this as your anchor text, they know that it's a brand. You know, it's a brand name. Whereas in this case, if you keep doing this over and over, you may end up getting hit. If you do this the same amount of times as you do this, you're more likely to get hit for this one since it's an actual keyword that gets searches. So just be careful with that. Like if you have like an EMD that gets a lot of searches, be careful with how many times you use it like this. Now you can keep using it like this and you'll be safe, or any of these ways right here, and you'll be safe. But using the actual keyword like this, it's a little different for those keywords that get searches, I notice. All right, from Sergey. Yeah, you can do that, Sergey. Absolutely. You're welcome, Calf. Are you welcome, Aurelia? No problem at all. You guys make it easy, to be honest. All right, from Kathy. A dozen different hosts. That's good, Kathy. You must have a decent amount of PBNs. One thing you can do is you can use a free service called Uptime Robot. Totally free to use. It checks them every 5 minutes. And it says you can only do 50 sites, but you can just sign up. If you use all 50, you can just sign up for a new account under a different email and get a whole new 50. But basically, you just put in the domain name. It checks it every 5 minutes. If it sends back like a failed signal, it will email you and say, this site is down. So you can use Uptime Robot. There's another one. I forget the name of it, but Uptime Robot works great. You can use this. So that's a pretty good resource for that. From Emma. I sent it to both, Emma. But again, it depends on how competitive the keyword is. A lot of the times, like for less competitive keywords, you won't even need branded anchor text. But if it's a more competitive keyword, yeah, I'll use... So let me give you an example. So for klcast.com, the brands page, when I'm sending branded anchor, I'll do it like that. Okay, so I'll actually do this as the URL, the actual URL. I'll even do it like this, and I'll take off the slash at the end. I'll do it like this, with just the home page going to this page. Okay? I'll do it like this, KLKS. Again, going to this page. So that's the different ways I brand like an inner page. Like if I'm doing because again, this is really competitive. Electronic cigarette brands, e-cigarette brands, all that stuff. Electronic cigarette reviews. So this is all the type of stuff I'll do for like inner URL branding, stuff like that. I'll even do stuff like kelcast.com, kelcast.com reviews, stuff like that, where I'll mix like the name of the domain plus a keyword that I'm going after, like a general keyword. And then for the home page, I'll just do the same thing right here. I'll do like this type of stuff. Alright, of course I wouldn't do an inner URL to the home page, but doing a home page to the inner URL is fine. That's kind of like your main brand still for an inner page. Alright, so any final questions, send them in now. We're about an hour in. So I'm going to take a screenshot. So I'll give a couple more seconds for any last questions here. Then I'm going to take a screenshot and we'll answer these final questions. And the site name, I saw people asking as I'm waiting, was uptimerobot.com. That's time, T-I-M-E, robot.com. Uptime Robot. This is up here in the upper left corner. Alright, so let me take a last screenshot now. Alright, from Kathy. I'm actually not good at penalty recovery, Kathy, because like I explained earlier, usually when I get hit with a penalty, I just move on. Because I find that just doing a new site with new links is so much easier than recovery. Because recovery can take 6 months, and then at the end of those 6 months, you'd end up not even recovering. So I'm not good enough for recovery where I even try it. I just do a new site so much easier for me. But Jimmy Kelly's really good at penalty recovery. He actually has a course on that. I don't know if it's included with OMG or not. I would ask David Mills, David at omgmachines.com. He'll know if it's included or not. But Jimmy does have a course on that. Oh, you guys couldn't see the anchor text. Is this showing on the screen now? Hopefully. Can you guys see this notepad file? Can you guys see a notepad file up on my screen right now? Just let me know. Yes? Okay. Alright, cool. So what I was saying is for an inner page, like if it's like calcast.com/brands, so I'll do it like that, like the exact URL. I'll do the URL and take off this slash at the end. I'll do stuff like that. I'll actually do the home page URL to this inner page. Okay, so I'll do that as an anchor text. I'll just do KLKS, which is the main name of my site. That's the main brand name. Again, to this inner page. I'll do stuff like calcast.com to the inner page. calcast.com/reviews to the inner page. But if it's to the home page, I won't do an inner page URL to the home page, obviously. I'll just do stuff like this. Okay? But again, when you get into stuff like we're using so much stuff like this, it's going to be a really competitive niche. You're not going to need to use that for most niches. So let's see. So I just went over that again. You're welcome, James, Chantel. Yeah, Uptime Robot. And last question here from Daniel, and you're welcome, Ann. Likely, from what I've seen in the past, Daniel, that would mean a penalty of some sort. But I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't had it happen to any of my sites lately, so I'm not positive. But when that happened to me in the past, it was a site penalty. But again, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm not sure if that's still the case. But all things the same, it's likely a penalty. I don't see why else that would happen. Try to maybe send like a link to it to the home page and give it a couple weeks and see if it shows up. But I don't see why inner pages are showing, not the home page, if it was anything else other than a penalty. But again, I'm not positive on that. Alright. Alright, so that's going to end this webinar now, guys. I think I have another one in a couple weeks, I believe. And then pretty soon we start doing every week, for all the new Project J people. So I'll have this recording up. I'll have it over to David by tonight. I'll have it up likely by tomorrow if you guys need it for anything. Alright, thanks for coming out, everyone. I'm going to end this webinar now. I'll get the recording over to David, and he should have it up soon. I'll talk to y'all soon.